Coming up on Mountain News this morning, soon Kentucky drivers will take vision tests to be able to hit the roads. And Governor Andy Beshear is being invited to speak at the World Economic Forum on behalf of Kentucky.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, Mountain family. The time is 5:30, December 30th on this beautiful Monday. My name is Amelia Lee. It's also time to check in with my friend, meteorologist Megan Dusmal, for a look at this forecast this morning. And Megan, honestly, I think the weather's been pretty nice so far, especially for our holiday season and then going into the new year. Travel-wise, it's not been too bad. So really just all around great forecasts for the new year.
Well, I would hope to say yes. Unfortunately, that won't be the case though. But we have been quite lucky as we went through the past couple of holidays where they weren't too bad in terms of weather. And it won't be terrible for New Year's Eve. But if you are heading outdoors on New Year's, maybe you might want to reconsider that, as we will have a rainy midnight. But for today, let's take a look at those temperatures. Right now out the door, we are in the mid-40s, and as you can see, that humidity is quite high this morning, so some places could be expecting some fog out there this morning. And as we go through the next 12 hours, we'll watch those temperatures warm up, and we'll hit that high temperature around that 3 o'clock hour in the mid-50s. And as we look at those high temperatures, some places getting even warmer than that, upper 50s as you're traveling more towards the southwest, and as you're heading towards Jacksboro, you could see the upper 50s. And if we have a break in some of the clouds today, which may or may not be happening, you could see those temperatures potentially hitting 60 degrees today. Now here is that satellite and radar, and as you can see, we still have some lingering rain chances this morning, and that will be what we're tracking as we're heading throughout the next couple of hours. Amelia.
All right, Megan, thank you. Last week, health officials reported a human death from rabies in northern Kentucky. The source of the exposure is uncertain, but could have occurred outside of the United States. The last Kentucky resident with confirmed rabies infection was in 1996. Last week, 2 men were killed in a Clay County landslide. The coroner's office identified the man as 37-year-old Jonathan Hoskins and 40-year-old Donald Short, both of Manchester. Friends and officials say the men were digging for coal after a seam was found off Stone Road Gap. The sheriff says there is an old coal mine near the hillside. Emergency management officials say the men already recovered at least 1 bucket of coal when the slide took place.
A mutual friend had actually told one of their brothers that they seen their vehicle over here, and there was a mudslide, and his brother's actually the one who found him.
Officials say both men were digging about 8 to 10 feet above the ditch line. The incident is being investigated by Clay County Emergency Management. Kentucky State Police says its crackdown on cockfighting led to several federal indictments and plea deals. KSP says 5 people pleaded guilty to charges in connection to a chicken fighting operation in Whitesburg. 2 people were also sentenced in connection to a fighting ring in Pike County. State police say this follows a years-long investigation across Kentucky. You can find more information with this story on WYMT.com. In less than 1 week, drivers looking to renew their driver's license in the Commonwealth might need to check in with an optometrist. Prior to this change, drivers only needed an eye exam when initially getting their driver's license. Now, drivers will need to complete the driver's vision testing certification form or pass an exam at the DMV at their time of their license renewal.
So all the testing parameters are exactly the same as what it would be for the 16-year-olds. What's new is that if you need to update your driver's license or renew the driver's license, you will now have to undergo a vision screening like you would the first time you took your driver's test.
Davidson says this is designed to keep the eyes of drivers in good shape and better ensure safe Kentucky roadways. On January 1st, qualified patients in Kentucky will be able to apply for a medical cannabis card. That will signal the beginning of a new era of legal marijuana use in the state. For some people, that means all the difference. One Kentucky woman takes a series of injections 4 times a day from a tray full of syringes, and it's still not enough to treat the pain that keeps her confined most days. The woman also relies on marijuana's healing effects. Purchased illegally, but worth the risk, she says, for the relief it provides.
You got to watch who you tell, or you got to, not talk about it, or you've got to hide what you're doing to try to heal yourself.
To apply for a medical cannabis card, taking effect soon, her days of hiding will soon be over. She has hopes it will lead her to a new day of relief and freedom. A new women's health clinic is opening its doors today. The clinic is moving from primary care center to Hazard ARH inside the professional office building. The providers and services offered will remain the same, but officials say the new location should be more convenient for both patients and medical staff. Dr. Raymond Thomas, the clinic's OB/GYN, says the transition should be seamless for patients.
Patients shouldn't have to do anything differently other than drive to the new location. We'll be able to actually have a little bit more at our disposal, being affiliated with the hospital and ARH and all the services that they can provide.
To schedule an appointment, you can call 606-439-5220. More details can be found on our website, WYMT.com. A new initiative planned in Pike County is borrowing from the success of surrounding health departments. Pike County officials are discussing how to bring a hub for addiction recovery to the area, using the Kentucky River District Health Department's growing success as a blueprint. The hub will bring resources for recovery under one roof, helping to connect and serve those in need, with a mission of ending overdose deaths and getting folks into treatment by being available when they are ready to seek help.
Individuals suffering from substance use disorder are 5 times more likely to enter treatment if they're receiving harm reduction services.
Public Health Director Tammy Riley and Judge Executive Ray Jones are planning to visit Lee County soon to see how to best bring a hub to their neighbors in need. Governor Andy Beshear has accepted an invitation to speak at the World Economic Forum. The forum will be in Switzerland in January. It brings together businesses, government, and academic leaders from around the world. The governor is expected to discuss further investment and job opportunities in Kentucky. Officials in Somerset are getting ready for the new year in style. City officials are hosting an event called the Light Up 2025 Bash on Tuesday at Fountain Square in the downtown part of the city. The festival will include food trucks, live music, and of course a dance party. The event kicks off at 7. You can find more details on this fun time on our website, WYMT.com. Well, the new year is now just a few days away, and many of you may be thinking about your New Year's resolution. Well, some of those resolutions fell through in years past. Experts say setting resolutions is more beneficial than you might think. Resolutions can provide motivation and help us become more intentional and productive in our daily lives. We spoke with a psychologist who says this is especially true for people with ADHD, who tend to live more impulsively. She says in order to see big change, you have to start small.
What we know is that setting specific small goals leads to more success than making broad goals. So I'm 55, and if I set a goal of, I want to improve my health this year, that is so broad that it's not likely that I would make much of a change. But if I said I want to decrease my cholesterol, then I could set a small goal that had to do with nutrition and one that had to do with exercise.
Dr. Stone also suggests sharing your goals out loud to a loved one and asking them to hold you accountable. Speaking of some of this New Year's advice, a new report is aiming to help millions of people looking to lose weight. The Journal of the American Medical Association looked at more than 100 clinical trials and found at least 2.5 hours of moderate to higher intensity aerobic exercise per week may help lead to a meaningful decrease in weight, waist size, and body fat.
So what this analysis found is that if you exercise for, let's say, 20 minutes a day, 7 days a week, or 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, you will achieve significant weight loss. You also need to get your heart rate up high enough. So when they say moderate exercise, they're talking about getting to 50 to 70% of your maximum heart rate Strenuous would be 70 to 85% of your maximum heart rate.
Dr. Celine Gounder says you can estimate what your maximum heart rate is. It's 220 minus your age, but if you're like me, you can also find online calculators to help you with that. When we return, organizers were busy getting New York ready for this New Year's annual New Year's Eve countdown.
And go ahead and enjoy those warm temperatures of today because colder weather is ahead. I'll have more coming up.